Here is how I made sausage and peppers for dinner tonight. I started out with a spiral Italian sausage with fennel seeds in it, and I simmered it in a pot to thaw it out because it was frozen. And while that was simmering, I chopped up some of the peppers, and I actually had these in my house already. Sometimes I only use green peppers, but I happen to have red and green. So I just took the top off and the bottom, and then I usually just go around like this, throw the core and the seeds away, and then I just cut these into strips. They don't have to be that small. Usually for sausage and peppers, I do strips. And this thing actually comes in handy. I don't even know what it's called. It's meant to hold bags. I use it a lot when I buy meat in bulk and I have raw meat on my hands and don't want to handle bags, but I decided to use it for this. It just holds the bag open for you. And I scooped up the red pepper and I stuck it in the bag so that I could just store it in the fridge to make cooking this a little bit easier later on. Then I moved on to the green pepper, and I just did the same method. I cut off the top and I cut off the bottom, and then I made little strips. And then I moved on to the middle, just like I did with the red pepper. And I always just cut off all the corners. I try to get everything off of there so that it's only the middle with the seeds that I'm throwing out. And again, this little bag thing came in handy. And if you have one of these pastry scrapers, it makes it a little easier to transfer what you're cutting to wherever you're going to put it. And this is a shallot. Usually I don't use shallots in sausage and peppers, but again, I had this on hand, so I figured I'd use it up today. It's a little less pungent and strong than a regular onion. And this was one shallot, and it kind of had like two things connected, if that makes any sense. So I just peeled off the skin and cut it into strips, and I added it into the bag with the peppers. Just a rough cut here. It doesn't have to really be that small. Then I moved on to this big onion. This was a little bit harder to cut because it was so big. And I just did it the same way. I cut off the top and I cut off the bottom. And then I cut the onion in half. Try to get the skin off. And then it's always easier and safer to cut with the flat side down so that the food isn't really like rocking back and forth while you're cutting. And I put all the onions in the bag, gave it a little shake, and I stored that in the fridge. Here is the sausage. It's totally cooked at this point. And I carefully took out these little sticks that they had to hold it together. I think there were 3 pointy sticks. So I took those away, got those out of here. And then I just cut the sausage up into little pieces. You could actually use any type of Italian sausage. They also make Italian sausage that is like fatter than this, and it's not shaped like a spiral, but my family prefers this one, even though I think they taste kind of the same. So I put the cut up sausage in a frying pan with the peppers and onions from earlier and a little bit of olive oil. And I took it over to the stove, and I had the heat kind of on high, like between medium and high. And I tried to brown everything up. The vegetables eventually softened up, and the sausage was already cooked at this point, but it just browned up a little bit. And then I started to season it. This is Italian seasoning. This is an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Next up is sugar, because I like everything sweet, but that's optional. You don't have to put that or as much. Then I put some ground black pepper. This is ketchup. And this one is soy sauce. I'm not really measuring here. I'm just going by sight. And depending how you like your food, you could omit some of these or put a little more or a little less. And I just got it going. It's nice and bubbling and hot right here. Everything is mixed through, so looks like it's pretty much getting done by this point. And here it is on Italian bread with mozzarella cheese.